Let us leave aside slogans. Let us leave aside words which frighten people. Let us even make concession to the prejudices of our opponents.
Welcome to Freethought podcast. Today we are talking about one of India's greatest leaders, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and his fight against the caste system. We'll discuss his legacy, how caste discrimination continues today, and what we can do to build a fairer society. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar was born in 1891 in Mhow, a small town in central India. He was the 14th child in his family. Ambedkar's father, Ramji Maloji Sakpal, served the British Indian Army and believed in the importance of education. Despite this belief, Ambedkar's journey was filled with hardship. As a child, he was barred from sitting with other students in school. He had to sit on the floor, often outside the classroom, and was not allowed to drink water from the same pots as other children. One day, young Ambedkar arrived at school without a writing slate. When he tried to borrow one from another student, he was humiliated and told, "You are an untouchable." This incident left a deep mark on him, but it also fueled his determination to rise above these injustices. Despite these challenges, Ambedkar excelled in his studies. He earned scholarship to study abroad. At Columbia University in the United States, he had deeply influenced by the works of John Dewey, a philosopher who emphasized equality and social justice. Later, Ambedkar went to the London School of Economics, where he completed multiple degrees in law and economics. Ambedkar's return to India marked the beginning of his fight against the caste system. He started leading protests to open public water tanks and temple to Dalits. One famous event was the Mahat Satyagraha in 1927, where Ambedkar and hundreds of Dalits defied social norms to drink water from a public tank. This act was a powerful statement against caste discrimination. In 1936, Ambedkar founded the Independent Labour Party, which contested in the 1937 Mumbai election to the Central Legislative Assembly for the 13 reserved seats and 4 general seats, and secured 11 and 3 seats respectively. Another pivotal moment was the burning of the Manusmriti, a Hindu religious text that justifies caste hierarchy. By burning the Manusmriti, Ambedkar sent a strong message that the foundation of caste discrimination must be challenged and dismantled. Ambedkar's achievements didn't stop there. He became independent India's first law minister. In his role, he played a key part in drafting Indian constitution, ensuring its guaranteed equality for everyone, irrespective of caste, religion, or gender. However, Ambedkar faced significant resistance from the proposed reforms for a uniform civil code, which aimed to provide equal personal laws for all citizens. India's personal civil laws are still discriminatory today, often favoring patriarchal and caste-based norms. Ambedkar also championed the Hindu Code Bill, a set of laws that aimed to reform Hindu personal laws, giving women equal rights in property and marriage. However, opposition from conservative leaders forced him to resign from the cabinet in 1951. Although the Hindu Code Bill was eventually passed in a diluted form, Ambedkar's resignation was a stark reminder of how deeply ingrained caste and gender discrimination were in Indian society. Ambedkar contested first in the Mumbai North in the first general election in 1952, but lost to his former assistant and a Congress party candidate. Later, Ambedkar became a member of the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of Indian Parliament. He contested again to Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Indian Parliament, in the by-election of 1954 from Bandara and was not successful. Ambedkar also formed a new political party called the Scheduled Caste Federation to give Dalits a voice in Indian politics. Unfortunately, his party struggled to gain widespread support and he lost elections to upper caste dominated candidates. Despite these setbacks, Ambedkar's efforts laid the groundwork for Dalit empowerment in Indian politics. Ambedkar wrote prolific. Some of the major books of Ambedkar are The Problems of the Rupee, Its Origin and Solutions, The Untouchables, Who Are They, Who Were the Shudra, States and Minorities, and Emancipation of the untouchables. Let me share a story to understand the depth of caste discrimination in some Indian villages, which I personally witnessed during one of my village campaigns in India against superstitions. In a village in Uttar Pradesh, a Dalit woman named Sunita was not allowed to fetch water from the village well. She and her family had to walk miles every day to find water, simply because the upper caste villages refused to share their resources. Such situation is still existing in many parts of India. These are not isolated cases. They are part of a larger pattern of systemic oppression. Did you know that Dalits have a very low representation in Indian top bureaucracy and in the judiciary? While political measures like reserved seats in parliament ensure representation, the higher levels of administration and justice are dominated by people from upper caste. Even though India has had presidents from Dalit backgrounds, society remains deeply entangled in caste discrimination. From top to bottom, caste hierarchy persists. Why is Indian caste system so hard to dismantle? One major reason is the Hindu belief in karma. Many devout Hindus believe that being born into a lower caste is a result of bad deeds in the past life. This mindset is reinforced by religious texts that justify caste discrimination. The roots of caste division lie in the Hindu faith system. To truly fight and end caste hate, we need the courage to question the foundations of these beliefs. You might think caste exists only in Hinduism, but it has crept into other religions in India too. Christianity, Islam, and even Sikhism, which preach equality, have caste-like divisions. This shows how deeply rooted the problem is. After his first wife Ramabai passed away, Ambedkar married Dr. Savita, a Brahmin woman who stood by him and supported his work against caste system. She later received the Bharat Ratna on his behalf after his death. Their marriage was a bold statement against caste barriers. In 1956, Ambedkar converted to Buddhism along with thousands of his followers to escape the shackles of caste. This historic event, known as the Dalit Buddhist movement, was his final attempt to liberate his community from discrimination. Ambedkar believed that Buddhism's emphasis on equality and compassion aligned perfectly with his vision for a just society. Dr. Ambedkar passed away in December 1956, but his legacy lives on. The posthumous award of Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor in 1990, was a recognition solidified his place as one of the greatest social reformers in Indian history. So, coming back to the caste system in India, what can we do? First, education plays a crucial role. Schools must teach children to value equality and reject caste. Second, we must support to get social approval and respect for inter-caste and inter-religious marriages or relationships. When people marry across castes and religions, it breaks the barriers of prejudice. Dr. Ambedkar and social reformers like Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy also spoke about building self-respect. They said oppressed communities should stand up for their dignity. Waiting for change from others won't help. As Periyar said, praying to the gods will not give you equality or respect. Only self-respect and action can. We also need stronger affirmative action. Reservation policies help Dalits get education and jobs, but they are not enough. The government and society must do more to ensure Dalits have real opportunities. Representation in top levels of bureaucracy and the judiciary must improve to bring meaningful change. Ending caste is not just a Dalit issue, it's everyone's responsibility. We must create a society where equal treatment, respect, and harmony prevail. Dr. Ambedkar dreamed of an India where caste no longer exists. Let's work together to make that dream a reality. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, share it with your friends. Together, we can spread the message of equality and justice. Until next time, take care and stand up for what's right.